This is the most expected trash apple. Yo guys, welcome back to another Dave Talk. Recent discussion about certain tournament qualifier has brought a topic front and center. What is considered meta? Who even created meta? Or in other words, how does meta come about? Which region has better meta? Is it Phili or is it Indonesia? Well, today, let's talk about all of those and more. First of all, what is meta? According to Urban Dictionary, meta is a term used in MMO, which is short for MMORPG, meaning the most effective tactic available. It's basically what works in a game regardless of what you wish would work. This can be largely summarized in two folds: heroes and strategies. For heroes, you might wish Hanzo to still be working currently, but unfortunately due to the current 1-1 hyper assassin strategy and increasing popularity of all the fighters on the sideline, Hanzo has lost his touch. His risk simply doesn't justify the reward any longer. Or we can just simply put it as Hanzo is out of the meta. But does this mean Hanzo is not playable completely? Well, not at all. In fact, if the situation is such that your opponent has no assassin and they have marksmen like Layla and so on, go right ahead. Enjoy your feast. In other example, Yuzhong, since Yuzhong destroys most silent heroes except for a few including Marsha or Jawhead, and his ability to kill enemy hyper carries, or even 1 versus 5 sometimes, Yuzhong is probably the definition of the most meta hero there is right now. The chances of a team winning increase dramatically if they have Yuzhong as a side laner. Now, what about Belmont? Even though Belmont loses to most fighters, including Jawhead, Chow, Freya, X-Spark, and so on, but since Belmont is a counter for Uranus, sometimes Yuzhong as well, Belmont is also part of the meta. And the same applies to heroes like 1-1 and Alice. 1-1 counters the meta most popular side laner Esmeralda and Yuzhong, which makes her a viable choice if given the right circumstances. To summarize, the easiest way to test whether a hero can be tried as a meta or not is to look at the patterns of heroes that are already in the meta and find similar traits. If a new hero fits those criteria per se, then we can certainly try the new hero in the meta and continue to discover flaws and improve, or simply cross it out and try a new hero. For example, in the current competitive or professional scene, we see 1-1 hyper carry and or funnel strategy, whatever you like to call them, dominate the scene. And the most frequently picked funnel heroes, including Ling, Roger, Lancelot, Hayabusa, Harith, and so on. If you analyze them closely, what do those heroes have in common? They're all very mobile, flexible in teamfight positions, so they can get in and get out easily. They all farm quickly and have snowball potential. They all possesses assassin ability to kill opponent backline squishies. We all know about how scary these heroes can be if given proper items. With that being said, let's evaluate other heroes that might have similar potentials. How about YSS, Yi Sun-shin? I don't know how many of you actually come join me in my live streams, but I literally 99% win rate a smurf from epic to mythic using YSS only. But is Yi Sun-shin a competitive choice? I don't know. Since I'm not currently romantically involved with any teams, I can't verify. But you can certainly try it in rank yourself, and you should also watch my 100% Yi Sun-shin Assassin Guide hero to gain insights before you take on the task. Now, how about Yuzhong? For sure, Yuzhong can easily reach enemy backline with the Flying Dragon form, and he has insane damage with items. A few pro teams have done it in competitive for both PH and Indonesia. Personally, I'm not a big fan of that, since I am a deep believer of utilizing resources to its fullest potential, and Yuzhong is much better fitted as a side laner and then pick another hyper carry instead. This way, you have double insurance. Now, knowing this, why don't we analyze a hyper carry a few teams are trying in certain regions and a bunch of misinformed viewers are just bluntly follow? Dairoth. Does Dairoth have the damage to one-shot a squishy? Oh, you bet. Does he have mobility? To a certain extent, yes. But try to split push with Dairoth when your team is behind. That's basically a one-way trip to guaranteed black and white screen. His mobility compared to all the other heroes I mentioned are just not on the same level. How about Dairoth's ability to flank enemy backline? Well, Dairoth can certainly one-shot a squishy if he gets his hand on them, but the problem is, how do you actually get your hand on them? Even epic or legend players won't just stand there and let you hit them with all flicker combo, let alone a well-coordinated pro-level team. What do you think their teammates gonna do in that match when they see you trying to reach the backline? Let me tell you, they're not gonna stand there and eat some white rice and call it a day, that's for sure. So, is Dairoth a viable meta funnel choice? The answer is no. Not because he's not a fun hero, but there are a million better choices out there. Why do you even waste your time with Dairoth's hyper carry? Remember, for pro scene, you only have one chance. People don't care about how you're Global 1 Dairoth until you're a Global 1 team first. So for those teams who are still attempting and spreading the fake news and telling the ML community how strong this hero is, blah 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 blah, just stop. Save me the day. Get some help. I'm not going to list 10 other examples here. Why don't we first talk about meta in a team strategy sense? The current pro scene strategy can be largely summarized as 1-1 hyper carry as we mentioned. Why? As I discussed many times on the live stream, the current Mobile Legends map is so poorly designed and balanced that the side lane and jungle have very little protection. 3 people in mid allows you to rotate to any part of the map and maintain majority numbers from your team. If you correspondent side lane coordinate well with the team, you will certainly always have at least 4 people present for any objectives you want to seek. And for mobile MOBA, it's largely a numbers game. The more people you have, the more likely you can win the skirmish, which then increase your chance of taking down the enemy base. For the merit of not taking an hour just to scratch the surface of this topic, let's just talk about the current most suited strategy for Mobile Legends: 1-1 with 2 silent heroes, 1 main initiator, 1 support, and 1 funnel carry hero. Who are the best heroes that fits in the silent position? Tier S includes Yuzhong, Uranus, and Esmeralda. Tier A includes Jawhead, Thamus, X-Borg, and Masha. Who are the best for the main initiator then? Now, before we go there, you have to know what counts as an initiator. Criteria 1 is be able to walk into a bush without dying, aka vision control. If a hero does not have the ability to check vision, your opponent will always have priority on rotation over you. They will always be the predator and you will always remain as the prey. Criteria number 2 is able to initiate a teamfight, preferably large AoE quad control skills like Minotaur's ultimate, Atlas ultimate, and Khufra's ultimate, and so on. But not all quad control skills are born equal. For example, Minotaur's ultimate requires a difficult condition in order to trigger, and it can be cancelled easily. Tigreal's ultimate at the same time can be easily dodged and cancelled, and the same applies to Lolita's ultimate, and so on. Criteria 3 has to be reliability and dependability, or whatever you want to call them. The point is, your quad control has to be reliable, something that's easy to connect. For example, Khufra's skills definitely take a lot more accurate execution. You get the point. So, with this knowledge in mind, who are the best initiator in the current meta right now? Tier S, Atlas, Khufra, Grok. Tier A, Boxia, Lolita, Hylos. Who are the best support heroes? The current criteria for this is a lot simpler than Initiator. This hero needs to have exceptional poke and quad control. For example, Loi not only has one of the best quad control combos in the game, but also unparalleled damage and range. I'm sure most of you have been terrorized by this gentle beast in rank. If you have not, that's probably because you're either Team Chicks or just under Legend. Other good support heroes also include Valir, Farsa, Selena, and Sicilian. I agree that kinky strategies exist, especially when your team has Uranus and Jawhead. Due to the strong presence in the side lane, it's very possible that a team can pick 2 support heroes instead of a traditional initiator. But this type of strategy is built on strict execution and slim win conditions. So for most teams aspire to be pro out there, I recommend you master the traditional strategy first in order to build team synergy before exploring into the more dangerous waters. If that's too complicated for you, just know that meta is a very flexible term. Sometimes it's fixed, sometimes it's not. Lots of things go into the consideration of what's called meta. You can't simply generalize anything as PH meta or Indo meta. I've seen quite a bit of viewers saying, Dave, you don't understand. We here in the country has different meta than yours. Let me tell you something, my friend. Yes, I do understand, but what I'm saying is for so long, no one actually took the time to explain to you guys what meta is. You can't just go around and say, here in the PH meta or Indo meta, we like to innovate. We like to explore. That's not meta. That's just people liking to innovate, troll, or exploring. Trust me, that's everywhere. It doesn't belong to any specific region. You think people in other regions are just stupid and that they just don't like to try new things? Trust me, every region does, and that's not how meta is defined. Okay, how does meta come about then? Especially regarding hero metas. Well, meta is usually formed in an interesting way. First, we have to talk about the foundation of the meta formation. And that foundation is usually set by the developers with patch updates such as hero buff nerfs, item changes, map adjustment such as various experience and gold adjustments, red-blue buff adjustment, and so on. For example, the recent patches increased the movement speed of the silent minions. This allowed the silenter fighter to clear wave faster and have more time taking down the silent gold crab to subsidize for the lack of protection on the side lane. Or the recent gold increase on the lane minions. If a silent hero focuses on wave clear from lane to lane, he or she will have more gold than the hyper carry a lot of times. Now, how about hero meta? A hero can come to prominence from many different ways. Most important way still has to be the developer update. If certain heroes receive noticeable buff, then this hero is bound to receive a huge boost in popularity. And this usually happens when Mutant come out with a skin promotion. But if we jump out of developer interference, the normal process how a hero can become popular usually involve a few stages. Rank, pro scene scrims, display in tournaments, back to rank. Basically, it usually first starts with some rank games. A pro team went to play rank and discover that, oh my god, they're particularly having problem with certain unexpected heroes such as Fanny or Hilda. Then, if their player pool supports it, they will take it out in the next private practice, which is called Scrim, with their Scrim partners. This way they can find out whether it's gonna work against good teams or not. If it's working out consistently, the team will then possibly use it as a pocket pick and surprise their opponent in the next tournament on stage. After that, a larger community will see it and adopt this hero without really knowing why they should pick it in the first place and use it in rank. When some people in my previous video mentioned about pocket pick, you have to understand, pocket picks are not just some random heroes a team decide to use in this tournament. It has to go through rigorous testing in their day-to-day practice, and it has to go through rigorous evaluation from the coaching team as well, before it will be decided to be a big stage tournament hero. The picks from lots of teams in the qualifiers that we saw are simply show-off heroes that do not fit this criteria. I know we have covered a lot of stuff today, but since I see many comments talking out of their butts with no basic knowledge of what meta is, I decided to make a video clarifying this fundamental topic. Hope it helps. If it does, make sure to hit a like. If you really like it, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell on to all notifications, because I heard about 1,500 snowflakes have unsubscribed to the channel due to the recent events. Where are all my strong boys and girls, men and women at? It's time to step up. Okay, let's go guys. Subscribe and see you on the next one. Love you guys. Bye now.
Just for the thrill of it, nothing counterfeit with you.